About 1 in 8 U.S. women, that's 12%, will develop invasive breast cancer over the course of her lifetime. In 2014, an estimated 232,670 new cases of invasive breast cancer were expected to be diagnosed in women in the U.S., along with 62,570 new cases of non-invasive breast cancer. About 2,360 new cases of invasive breast cancer were expected to be diagnosed in men in 2014. A man's lifetime risk of breast cancer is about 1 in 1,000. Breast cancer incidence rates in the U.S. began decreasing in the year 2000 after increasing for the previous 2 decades. They dropped by 7%. 7% drop from 2002 to 2003 alone. One theory, it's not a theory. Well, it is a theory because how can you prove stuff like this? But the talk around the campus is that the reason for this 7% decrease in the occurrence of breast cancer was due to women saying no to hormone replacement therapy after the results of a large study called the Women's Health Initiative, which were published in 2002, which conclusively, academically, statistically showed a remarkable relationship between hormone replacement therapy and the incidence of breast cancer. That's right. Breast cancer caused by a prescription medication which was prescribed for a non-medical condition, menopause. Menopause is not a disease. It is a time of life. However, male doctors, male PhDs got together and said, I don't know who my wife is anymore. I don't know who my girlfriend is anymore. I don't know who my mistress is anymore. I don't know who my fourth mistress is anymore. She's nuts. So what are we going to do? Well, I know what we're going to do, boys. We're going to give her a hormone. What are we going to do? How are we going to do that? I know. Let's do naturally occurring estradiol, estrone, and estriol. Let's do that. I mean, that's what's in their bodies anyway. Oh, no. We can't do that, says Dr. Huff and Puff, because you can't patent a naturally occurring substance. Oh, no. If you can't patent it, what are we going to make it for? We need to make some money, boys. We need to make some money. Get those women in line. So, rather than coming up with a bio-identical hormone replacement strategy, the MDs and the pharmacists and the PhDs got together and they took 2 parts horse hormone and 1 part human hormone and they cobbled them together into Premarin. That's where Premarin got its name because the horse hormones, equilin and equilase, are derived from the urine of pregnant mares. Premarin gets its name from pregnant mares, which is the source of the horse hormone. So that's a good idea, says Dr. Huff and Puff. 2 parts horse hormone, 1 part human hormone. Whoa, let's do that. Well, guess what? Sounds crazy to you, is crazy to me. But they convinced the FDA that it was A-OK. Hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of women got breast cancer and uterine cancer from Premarin, which was caused by, prescribed for a non-medical condition, menopause. Menopause isn't a disease, it's a time of life. But the MDs get away with it, and even though it's been proven to cause cancer, they still sell it, not so much in the U.S., because U.S. women are smarter than that now. Well, most of them are. So, third world developing companies get the brunt of Premarin sales now. Isn't that just dandy? And oh, by the way, nobody went to jail. 7% increase in cancer from that drug, 7% decrease when women got a clue and stopped taking it. About 40,000 women in the U.S. are expected to die in 2014 from breast cancer. 40,000 in the U.S. are expected to die from breast cancer, although this number has been decreasing since 1989, especially in women under 50. This is because of radical mastectomies. Besides skin cancer, breast cancer is the most commonly diagnosed cancer among African women. Just under 30% of cancers in African women are breast cancers. It's quite crazy runaway train from a statistical point of view. So, while we have given the MDs exclusive control over the domain of medicine, while we have kicked every other physician off of the bus of medicine, while we have kicked the chiropractors to the curb, the osteopaths to the curb, well, the osteopaths came back, but they're not osteopaths anymore. while we kick the naturopaths and the homeopaths and the acupuncturists and the Ayurvedic practitioners and everybody else to the curb, making it illegal for them to practice medicine, while we have given exclusive control over the domain of medical care to the MDs and the pharmaceutical industry. Since Richard Nixon waged his war on cancer in the 60s, cancer rates for breast cancer have largely remained unchanged. This year, 232,670 new cases of invasive breast cancer. New cases of invasive breast cancer. While we have given the control of medicine to the MDs. And oh, by the way, let's take a look at this, the cost of mastectomy. So let's say you're a woman and let's say you have breast cancer and let's say you go to a conventional MD because what else are you going to do? That's the only show in town. The MDs are the only people legally allowed to treat cancer here in the United States. They're the only dog in the hunt. They're the only pony in the ring. So if you've got breast cancer, you're scared, and rightly so. So what are you going to do? You're going to go to the only show in town. You're going to go to the MD, and the MD is going to tell you that you need mastectomy, radiation, and chemo. The grand total for one breast for mastectomy, radiation, and chemo, the average cost for all of these is $100,000 per breast. $100,000 per breast. $100,000 per breast. Now, even if you have medical insurance, there's something called a coinsurance. So once your deductible is met, let's say you have a $5,000 deductible. Well, so $100,000 minus $5,000, that's $95,000. The coinsurance that you have is going to put you on the hook for anywhere between 10 and 50% of the rest of the costs. So what's 50% of 95? 47,500. Let's round it down, 40 grand. So even if you have insurance, you're looking at $40,000 per breast. And we wonder why the medical community isn't looking forward to coming up with a cure for cancer, because it is a giant money-making industry for them. And remember, if insurance covers it, the insurance company pays the hospital. So the hospital's making $100 grand. The hospitals and the doctors are making about $100 grand either way, whether the insurance is involved or not. They're going to make the money. The insurance companies are going to pay them. It's okay for the insurance companies because they've worked out the numbers. Everybody's in bed together, and it makes you sick when you think about it. But, you know, when everybody's crazy, when we've let the inmates run the asylum, well, craziness becomes the rule of law, becomes the rule of the day. So now women all around the country, all around the world, have become enrolled by their oncologists into believing in the wonders of mastectomy, radiation, and chemo. And, you know, there are a certain percentages of breast cancer patients who have mastectomies, radiation, and chemo, and they're survivors. They're long-term survivors, but it's not a large percent. It is not a large percent. The 5-year survivorship for breast cancer is less than 20%, less than 20%. So, even if you do everything that the MDs tell you to do, only a very small percentage of women are actually going to be alive 5 years down the road. And, by the way, cutting off the breast, hacking off the breast, this is an acceptable treatment, really? I mean, that's like, you know, if we woke up tomorrow and all of a sudden there was an epidemic of finger cancer, epidemic of hand cancer. Oh, everybody, while 1/3 of the population has hand cancer. Well, one cure for hand cancer is to cut off your hands. And then there would be an entire industry that develops for, you know, robot hands, right? And one would feed the other. And there'd be new advances in hand lobotomy surgery. Just to, you know, home guillotines for the hand. That's what we got. We got the Cuisinart home guillotine for the hand. We'll just heat that blade up. It'll cauterize it. We'll inject some morphine into the bargain. Right? Hacking off the breast. Oh, that's an advanced treatment for cancer? No, it's not. It's archaic. It's old-fashioned. It's outdated. It is, you know, crazy. But it's the, you know, It's what is it? Black is the new pink. Pink is the new black. Whatever. Black is the new orange. 40 is the new 30. Whatever. This is what we all have become accustomed to because it's everywhere all the time, only because we do not have a free medical market and we have become enrolled in the insanity of the MD. So, and once again, this completely overlooks the fact, 100% overlooks the fact that the tumor is not the disease. The tumor is the result of the disease. So would it not be prudent? Would it not be wiser? Would it not be more better to try to get on board, to try to understand the metabolic process that made the tumor develop in the first place? I mean, selenium supplementation, one mineral, selenium, given at 200 micrograms a day, which is an eeny-weeny-teeny amount, reduces the occurrence of breast cancer by 82%. 82% reduction in the occurrence of breast cancer, which means if every girl in the United States took one selenium capsule every day, starting at birth, in one generation, we'd eliminate breast cancer by 82%. Now, why aren't the Susan G. Komen women marching for that? Why isn't medical research going in that direction? Because the conventional medical doctors don't give a damn about a cure. If they did, they'd be researching selenium. They are not. They're researching the BRCA gene. They're researching genetic implications, which I'm about to tell you in the following segment are a fool's errand. More surgery, more drugs, more chemo, $100,000 a breast. That sounds good to me, boys. Oh, yeah, let's do that. And that's exactly what you've taken. That's exactly what you've let them force down your throat. Susan G. Komen be damned. Ladies and gentlemen, pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and take a stand for your health. I am Dr. Peter Glidden. Welcome aboard. This is Fire Your MD Now. Everybody, Dr. Peter Glidden here, your steadfast advocate for health. This is Breast Cancer Day on the drglidden.show.tv. And, you know, knowledge is power. We have very little knowledge about this, and we just kind of do what everybody else does, even though what everybody else does is just this side of insanity. You know, it becomes reality by consensus, and this is what happens when you have a medical monopoly, which is a runaway train. Anything goes. Any therapy goes, and they'll just keep throwing stuff on the wall. Whatever sticks to the wall, that goes. Even though the 14-year study published about 10 years ago proved that chemo for adult-onset cancer doesn't work, they continue to recommend chemotherapy because it's a giant moneymaker. Remember, with the MDs, it's all about research this and double-blind that until the research goes against the grain of conventional treatment, and then they disregard it completely. Because they can do that because they're the king. There's no other profession in the world that can do that because the MDs are self-regulating and self-policing. They screw up, nothing bad happens. They have to screw up really super bad for something super bad to happen. And still nobody goes to jail. Leading cause of death in the United States, MD-directed medical therapeutics, nobody goes to jail. Leading cause of bankruptcy in the United States, MD-directed medical therapeutics, nobody goes to jail. It's a runaway train, a juggernaut of biblical proportions, and we need to just, wake up, snap out of it, dust ourselves off, and get on board with medical nutrition. I mean, are you kidding me? Selenium supplementation reduces the occurrence of breast cancer by 82%, so why isn't everyone in the world taking selenium? Because it's a naturally occurring substance. There ain't no money in it. And your medical doctor doesn't know anything about it, even though there is so much research behind the selenium breast cancer prevention notion that Dr. Joel Wallach, the founder of Longevity, sued the Food and Drug Administration years ago to secure a qualified health claim, which allows us to say in the public forum that selenium supplementation reduces the occurrence of breast cancer by 82%. There is a ton of research to support this notion, a ton of it. A ton of it. But conventional medicine turns a blind eye, and this should make you extremely angry, especially if you have a loved one who's been dealing with breast cancer. Extremely angry. But this is the way that the world goes. Medicine progresses one funeral at a time. Hopefully it won't be yours. We talked about the BRCA gene last week when I did a expose on epigenetics. By the way, it was a really good webinar. It's available for insiders and their guests exclusively. Become an insider at drglidden.com. $25 a month. It'll be the best $25 you've ever spent. drglidden.com. Become an insider. Watch the hour-long presentation that I did on epigenetics. It's in the archives now, along with 120 hours, I think, of other recorded archives, health webinars. Awesome stuff at your fingertips for a simple, low monthly subscription fee, which, by the way, you can cancel at any time. We'll give you a week's trial period. Week's trial. You don't like it? We'll give you all your money back after a week. The BRCA gene is a normally occurring gene in both men and women, and it is the job of the BRCA gene, both BRCA1 and BRCA2, to repair broken DNA. That is the job of the healthy BRCA gene. It repairs broken DNA. It repairs mutations in the DNA. Now, science doesn't ask themselves the question, well, what caused the normal BRCA gene to mutate into a mutated BRCA gene? What made that happen? Well, let me guess. Selenium supplementation reduces the occurrence of breast cancer by 82%. Gee, I wonder if there's a relationship between selenium and or a lack thereof and the mutation of the gene. Well, that's where I would look. If I was a research scientist, I would go there. That's called what? Is that deductive reasoning? I think it's deductive reasoning. I would go there. That would be a smart place for me to look, especially since all of the genetic material, all of your chromosomes are held together by something called metallic fingers. Metals, specifically minerals are vitally important in the structural integrity of your DNA. Now, knowing what I know about the architecture of the DNA, knowing about the importance of the mineral fingers in maintaining a healthy architecture of DNA, knowing about selenium and its relationship to the prevention of breast cancer, and knowing that the BRCA mutation is a mutation and not a normal gene, I would go there. But conventional medical people are not going to go there because they don't give a damn about it, folks. They don't. Snap out of it. Your medical doctor does not deserve your respect. They just want to cut and burn and drug, cut and burn and drug, stuff the profits in their pocket and not be concerned with a cure. You think the Susan G. Komen women are marching for a cure? You have your head in the sand. Stick around. More to come. Peter Glidden here, your steadfast advocate for health. Check out the website, drglidden.com. If you would like to join the live chat for free, go to the drgliddenshow.tv and log in. So, right, this is what it's like. It's $100,000 a pop per breast for breast cancer treatment, which is conventional, right? Conventional stuff. It's gigantic money. 200,000 new cases this year. So what's 200,000 times 100,000? That's $20 million per breast. So we're looking at between $20 and $40 million profit of income, of revenue generated from not being able to prevent breast cancer and treating it with the medieval methodology. Yeah, let's just hack the breast off. That's a good idea. Oh, no, pay no attention to the selenium connection. We shouldn't go there. And, you know, to finish up on the BRCA riff I was going on in the last section, the BRCA gene itself, in its healthy manifestation, repairs mutated DNA. Now, the vast majority of your genetic material, scientists refer to as junk DNA. It's over 70%. It's over 70%, and that's a low-ball number. It's junk DNA, which means they have no idea what it does. So don't you think it's possible that if we know that there's two genes that repair DNA and the 70% of the rest is junk, that, well, no, maybe some of that also repairs stuff? I mean, we know that the body has a repair mechanism already in place. So that would be how I would think, but that's not how your medical doctor thinks, because your medical doctor hasn't been trained to think creatively. Your medical doctor has been trained to toe the party line, to do what their colleagues do, to do what the rule of, you know, their medical prerogative says, their medical license. Oh, just stay inside that box. Well, what if that box is wrong? What if that box produces piss-poor results? What if that box is just wrong? Well, your medical doctor is a coward. They're not going to step outside of that box. They're not going to do anything. They're just going to give more chemo, even though it's been proven to be ineffective. They're going to do more radiation, more surgery, even though the 5-year survival rate is unbelievably poor. But I guess they're okay with it. Apparently so. So, wouldn't it be prudent, don't you think, to focus on a treatment that helps the BRCA gene to unmutate? I mean, wouldn't that be where to go? That's where I would go. But that's not where they're going to go. One more reason why you should fire your medical doctor. And honest to God, get my book. It's free. freedoctorbook.com. You get an electronic version. If you want the soft-bound version, it's $20. It's on my website. Click on the store button. We'll mail you. Amazon will mail you a brand new copy of my book. And read the chapter on cancer. And if anybody in your life gets cancer, have them take that book and read the 10 questions politely in the presence of a witness and a recording device to their oncologist. And when they listen to what the oncologist says in reply to these questions, politely delivered, the cancer patient will have a much better idea of whether to move forward with that treatment or hold and do something else. Oh, what's that? You have to go outside of the country to do anything else. Yeah, that's right, I forgot, because the only people who can legally treat cancer in the United States are the people who suck at treating cancer, the MDs. And I'm the quack. Larry in Saskatchewan is up next. Hey, Larry. Thanks for the call. You are live.
Hi.
Come in, Larry.
Yes?
Larry, you're up. How are you?
Not too great, I would have to say.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm glad that you found your way here. How can I help?
I've got a question for you. I've been to doctors that have talked to me about that I could have, MS, multiple sclerosis or something.
So you've been to a number of doctors, and they say that, Larry, maybe you've got MS?
Yes.
Well, I mean, what do you think of that? I mean, that's first of all, you should never tell that to a patient if it's not definitive, because, the MD is supposed to be all clinically detached and not supposed to bother the patient, not supposed to create any undue stress in the patient's mind. Telling somebody that, hey, Larry, maybe you've got multiple sclerosis. Geez, I don't really know. See you later. Have a nice peanut butter sandwich for lunch. That just doesn't cut it as far as I'm concerned. You need to go. You need to go to see somebody else, Larry. Those people have their heads up their behind.
I don't like doctors.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't either if someone told that to me. And again, folks, we don't have an axe to grind. This isn't like we're prejudiced against MDs. We're not. We're prejudiced against old-fashioned, outdated, Machiavellian, monopolistic, mediocre medical therapeutics delivered on an unassuming public for a profit. That's what we're against, and you should be too. We're the only ones standing up and say, guess what? The emperor has no clothes. The MD emperor has no clothes. They're butt naked. Their therapeutics are a fantasy. They're selling snake oil. You're buying it. In Canada, you got no choice. They take it right out of your paycheck, and that should be illegal.
Yeah. The question I had for you, what's your take on, is MS curable?
Well, we never use the cure word. I mean, I could have 10,000 people with multiple sclerosis.
Yeah.
They get on board with the treatment, they all get better, and I would not legally be able to say I can cure it. I can't.
I see what you mean, yeah.
I've seen people with MS definitively diagnosed and they no longer have it. I've seen people with MS get 50% better, and I've seen people with MS get 10% better. I've never seen anyone with MS get no better. Our entire thing here is, well, look, this is broad brush, boilerplate, foundation medical nutrition for the masses. So if you think that your neurological system is unhealthy, then it would be prudent for you to get on board with a medical nutrition program, the intention of which is to support and promote healthy central nervous system.
Yes,
so that's what I would do if I were you.
My energy currently is below the dumps. Like,
and
you're doing at 10, 11 in the morning.
Yeah, yes. And you're doing the full longevity program?
I'm not doing nothing yet.
Oh, well, okay. So look, here's the deal. So, I have seen remarkable changes with longevity in many different definitively diagnosed medical conditions across the board. I have, and that's why I'm such a cheerleader for longevity. I've been doing holistic medicine as a naturopath in the clinical setting for 25 years. That's a quarter of a century. I know most of the big names in holistic medicine in the world. And I'm telling you, if I was up against a chronic health condition and I wanted to do something alternative, quote unquote, aggressively to support and promote my body's ability to fix itself, I'd go with longevity, and I'd go with longevity for a minimum of 6 months. That's what I would do. So, well, how much do you weigh, man?
6 foot to 160 pounds.
Eyes of blue?
Yes. Does that make a difference?
So, number one, Larry, and I'm as serious as a heart attack when I say this, and so you need to please take everything that I say, seriously. And so, number one.
I'm holding a pen to write it down.
All right, good man. Number one, you have to stop the 10 bad foods. Period.
Where can I find them on your website?
On the right-hand side of my website, there's a column that says, click here to become a member of Dr. Glidden's free newsletter. If you click there, give us your email address. We give you a video. It's a 45-minute video for free that explains the 10 bad foods, plus we give you the list. It's also in my book. You can get my book for free. Freedoctorbook.com. Freedoctorbook.com. You can download it to your computer in 30 seconds. So, eliminate the 10 bad foods.
I don't like to be calling you a doctor.
Well, I get it. But, in the world of, I don't know. There's good blacksmiths and there's bad blacksmiths, right? There's good plumbers, there's bad plumbers, right?
Okay.
I mean, there are good doctors in the world. There are. I'm one of them. And so, you can call me doctor, which is entirely appropriate, but I understand your hesitation there. I wish there was a different name for it. Maybe we should try to think one up and spread that around. I would not be immune to that. You're never going to see me wear a white coat, by the way, because I'm 100% against that. But I digress, and we're running out of time. So here's what we have to do, man. Eliminate the 10 bad foods, number one. Number two, you have to start eating a diet that's high in cholesterol. And I don't care how you do that. Eggs, full-fat milk, full-fat yogurt, full-fat cheese, chicken with the skin, turkey with the skin, rare steak, rare hamburger, butter. You got to go crazy for cholesterol because your nerves are made from cholesterol, right? So if you think you have a neurological condition or you have a neurological condition, then a diet high in cholesterol will help that. You don't have to worry about cholesterol and heart disease because there ain't no relationship there. I wrote about that in my book too. So stop the 10 bad foods, eat a diet high in cholesterol, start using table salt liberally, salt your food so that it tastes good.
Would that be sea salt?
Yes, that's the best. Sea salt or Himalayan salt is better than table salt, yes. All right? Now, for supplements at your body weight, here's what I would do for the first 2 months, and then I'm going to tell you what to do for the last 4 months of this 6-month program, right? 6-month experiment. For the first 2 months, I'd like you, please, each month to do 1 Healthy Body Start Pack 2.0 liquid. 1 Healthy Body Start Pack 2.0 liquid. 1 of those per month. 1 bottle of plant-derived minerals per month. 2 bottles of Ultimate Selenium per month. 2 bottles of Ultimate Selenium per month.
2 bottles.
2 bottles. And 1 bottle of Immortalium. 2 bottles of Immortalium per month. 2 bottles of Immortalium. for the first 2 months. For the last 4 months of this program, double that program. Double it. Take 2 of everything instead of 1 of everything.
Okay.
We'll just double it. So you'd be taking 4 selenium a month, 2 healthy body start packs, et cetera, right? So start slow. You know, the changing your diet up is not the easiest thing in the world, but you can do it.
Sure.
Getting into the rhythm of taking these supplements every day on a regular basis is not the easiest thing in the world, but you can do it. And if you feed this stuff to your body slowly at first, slow and steady does it, then by the 3rd month, you can kick it up a notch, go into 5th gear, and then, you know, we're off to the races here, man. And look, also, understand, Larry, this is no nonsense, no BS stuff. In the first 3 months, in the first 12 weeks of this program, we are looking for noticeable, measurable, remarkably positive change. I'm not looking for mediocre, mamby-pamby change. I'm looking for big time. Oh, my God, I've never felt, you know, this good. So keep a weather eye out for positive change and call us back with a report. I'll look forward to that. Stick around, folks. Christian in Iowa is up next. Back, ladies and gentlemen. Check out the live video stream, why don't you, thedrgliddenshow.tv. Now, if you like what we talk about here, you want to learn more, then listen for the commercial breaks. If you're listening on good, old-fashioned terrestrial radio, we love terrestrial radio. If you're listening on a terrestrial radio station and you like what we talk about, then listen to their commercial break because they're going to give out a phone number, and you need to call that number to get more information about how you can work with us. If you found us all by yourself and you like what we talk about, then give my office a call, 855-347-3696. That's 855-347-3696. And someone from Team Glidden will answer your question. And if you were invited here by a friend, by an enemy, by a total stranger, and you like what you hear, then get with the person who told you about this program, and they will introduce you to longevity and show you the ropes, as it were. There are 2 ways that you can work with us. You can work with us on health recovery formulations, therapeutics which were designed and delivered by physicians, the intention of which is to support and promote your body's ability to optimize its structure and function. There's also a business opportunity inherent here. You can do one or the other or both. Talk to the person who brought you here, talk to the radio show, the radio station's phone number, or talk to my team, whichever is the most appropriate for your situation. Let's go to Iowa and talk to Christian. Hey, Christian, thanks for the call. You are live.
Thank you for taking the time to speak with me. And actually, I am new to longevity, and some of my old coworkers that I've known for years introduced me to it, and I'm basically a hot mess. I have a list of active problems, and I'm 32 years old, and I eat healthy. I don't drink pop. I live in a very small town, so I don't have a lot of like those fast food restaurants. But I was recently in an accident this past year. I've gone through several pretty big surgeries and kind of went from not being on any prescriptions to being on so many that I'm like a zombie. And I feel like I'm getting additional symptoms because of medications that they put me on. So, I mean, it's just been a huge transition for me, especially going from working in jobs for 14 years to being at home trying to figure out how to live with this new lifestyle of active issues. And I've been hopped around from physical therapists to pain specialists to neurologists. And currently I'm working actively with an orthopedic doctor on treatments with orthopedic manipulation. And they came up with 2 very, very rare syndromes that I have and came back with, reasoning behind a lot of my symptoms, but they're not prescribing me. And it's just kind of wanting to get the best protocol for my situation just because I've been undergoing so many active problems and medication.
Well, I'm glad you found us. I'm glad you found longevity. I'm glad you found your way here. I will talk you through everything that you need to do hold on. I have to make an audio adjustment here, apparently. Okay. And that is better. Okay. So we are talking with Christian in Iowa. She's new to longevity, and she's been run through the mill with conventional medicine. She's taking lots of pain medication. She's not really getting any better. She's feeling like she doesn't know what to do. Some of the medications that they're giving her are actually causing other symptoms, and she feels like she's spinning her wheels and she doesn't really know what to do. She's brand new to longevity and wants good old Dr. G to give her a clue. Christian, I'm more than happy to do this. And we're up against the end of the first hour here, so stick with me, and I'll bring you right back up at the very beginning of the second hour, which is 6 after the hour. And I'll walk you right through this. But one thing that I don't want to overlook is the million-pound gorilla in the middle of the room. You got hurt in an accident, and you leaned on conventional medicine because it's the only show in town. And conventional medicine has not helped you. Conventional medicine has, in fact, harmed you. Conventional medicine has let you down. You're not getting any better, and you've given yourself over to the experts, and they've let you down. And that speaks volumes for what everybody in this country is up against to different degrees, and that's exactly why longevity exists, to provide a rational, scientific alternative to this type of nonsense. Stick around, Christian. I will bring you up immediately in the second hour.